Dante, the senior setter.
Yes.
From the Midwest.
Yes, definitely.
So walk us back a few years through your recruiting process, how you ended up in Southern California.
Growing up, I got a chance to play with some of the USA pipeline stuff, so that can help get exposure to coaches out here. Yeah. Coach Niffen worked a couple of those camps, so I got a chance to talk with him. Right then I knew Irvine could definitely be a place for me, and I wasn't the most highly recruited guy, but definitely glad to get the opportunity to come here.
And Coach Niffen has done such a good job of kind of keeping the volleyball culture alive here at UC Irvine, and he likes to talk about that tagline, you know, Cultivate Champions. What does that mean to you and your team when you guys hear that?
Yeah, I think we try to use that as a filter. That's a word we use. So every decision we're making, whether it's on the court, off the court, in the community, cultivating is a process. It's a farming word is where it comes from. So we start by planting seeds. And if you look at a career, maybe that's when you come in at first, not too much is asked of you, but you're learning, and it's kind of on the older guys to foster that seed, protect that seed, water that seed. And then once it starts to grow and have some stability, it can start to help the younger guys. One of the great things Niff does is he empowers us to take on our own meaning of that Cultivate Champions to win championships. And that's what allows it to be so sustainable moving forward.
That growth that you're talking about is pretty evident for anyone who's watched you play on court. You're kind of like that energy guy. Coach always says, oh, Dante, he's like the quarterback.
Definitely.
How do you feel like you've kind of stepped into that role of just being the vocal leader and getting all the guys, you know, to buy in regardless of the game circumstances?
Yeah, it definitely is a growth process. It's something I learned once I got here, and I think it just starts with our teammates. The guys that were here when I was younger, guys like Tamir Hershko, Michael Saida, Jason Agopian. These people might not know, but they were awesome leaders.
They know.
Yeah,
we know your fans are out there.
who kind of showed what that looks like. So when I got to be older, it wasn't like I was changing anything. I was just doing what the guys in front of me had done. And then the guys we have on the team right now, just what can I do to put them in spots where they feel comfortable and where they feel empowered to do the amazing things that they can do. So when your teammates are that solid and the roadmap is laid out before, I think it makes it easy for me.
Yeah. So you're a big sports fan.
Definitely.
You love football.
I love football.
You had, I think, the opportunity to intern with the Rams when they were here for training camp.
Yeah, I worked 2 years with the Rams in the equipment department, which was an absolute blast. Yeah. One of the best experiences of my life. So a lot of time, you know, spent washing clothes and washing pads and stuff. But
the dirty work.
Yeah, exactly. But during practice, we would get to go out and interact with the players, and I worked a lot with the receivers and the QBs and then the punters and the kickers, and I'm a huge football fan, so to interact with the guys in the NFL was a dream come true. And you start to build relationships with those guys so that now on game days when I go and work on the sideline, you're talking to these guys, and these guys you've been watching on TV are doing it, and they're like, hey, how's the team doing? I can't describe that feeling. And then now with the Rams being in the Super Bowl and Greg hitting those 2 huge kicks, I mean, it felt like my own team was out there winning games, and I'm just so excited for them and happy for all those guys. But I try to take as much as I can from what they do for our team, because when I came in here first, we had a pretty poor season, and we've kind of turned it around, and they had the same thing with Coach McVeigh. And so just trying to pick up little things that I can bring back to the team. And
I think that's huge with Shaun McVeigh. He has that similar energy and like the invigoration for his sport. What sort of messages, if any in particular, are you taking away from him in terms of coaching?
Everything Coach McVeigh says, I try to write down, honestly. When he first got there, he was really trying to change the culture because they hadn't been good in a long time. One thing he kept preaching was we, not me. And that's kind of buying into putting the team first. And you know, that's tough in professional sports where you know, you're feeding your family based on how you play and your contract's individual. But he's got some guys that are older than him, been in the league for a long time, bought into that, and you're seeing the results right now. And just the attention to detail he has, the attention to preparation he has. He's a genius, so anything we can take from him, I'm definitely trying to steal.
You had the opportunity to go to Singapore with another internship. You're all over the place.
This past summer, I was able to do some research back in Chicago at DePaul University with the University of Chicago, and we worked on a project using data mining and machine learning to start to correlate online discussions in mental health related to suicide factors. And we were lucky enough as a group to get the paper published, and as part of that experience, they offered me the chance to go to Singapore and present on the work. And we had just been in Asia, so I thought I kind of knew what was going to happen. It's totally different from the other Asian countries, but it was awesome. And then to interact with people in my field that are truly experts worldwide in what they do is kind of in that same vein, where when you're around successful people, you just try to pick up on their patterns of behavior. The same data mining techniques we used on text for using social media and suicide data can be applied to financial information and world news, or flu rates and Twitter, and it's more of a tool that you can use to attack something than learning one specific field.
You're traveling. You have quite a bit of experience, as we just talked about. You have dual citizenship. It's Italy.
Yeah, so my mom was born and raised in Italy, in Parma, which is in Bologna, the region. And when I was young, I used to go every summer for 2 months and kind of hang out with my cousins and my uncles and my aunts who speak no English. So it was truly, a great chance for me to actually both interact with my family and kind of see a totally different culture. And then it gave me the confidence and the skills to travel on my own and with groups and in different settings, which helps us on the road for sure. We can go 18 days in Asia and 9 different cities, and then go to the East Coast for 16 days and move around. And so I'm very grateful to my family for that opportunity.
Well, you've had your hand in so many of these different fields. What are you hoping to do after school's done?
That's a great question. I think I'd really like to play. I'm going to pursue that for at least 1 year, and I've been thinking about maybe pursuing a PhD in computer science, which is something I got to interact with PhD students this summer, hoping on how can we solve world hunger, or how can we provide self-driving cars. And obviously I'm not the guy leading those projects, but to have skills to contribute to those would be a dream come true.
Well, in the midst of all that, you guys are a few games into your season now. Come out and support Dante's last run, home opener.
Definitely.
This Friday versus Concordia. Thank you so
Yes.
much for coming on the Walk and Talk.
No problem. Thank you guys.